Welcome to the No Views News. This program was created on Thursday, January 7th at 8:26 a.m. Pacific Standard Time by Zeno Reader. There are 717 headlines from 108 things we check to build this automated report. Welcome to No Views, daily automated podcast news. The headlines in this super unknown daily news summary do not imply fact-checking or endorsement of ideas. The first headlines are from the current most popular news site, Yahoo News, with 175 million estimated monthly unique visitors. After mob disrupts proceedings, Congress turns back Electoral College challenge, certifying Biden as the next president. In Kashmir, empty grave for teenager killed by Indian forces. Trump ally Kelly Loeffler and others drop plans to object to Biden's Electoral College win. AP photos, Indian Army patrols border with rival Pakistan. Boca and River stopped in first leg of Copa Libertadores semis. Australia 166-2 after rainy first day of third test versus India. U.S. Capitol riots, Trump commits to peaceful transition after Biden certified as president, latest news. Democratic Rep. Cori Bush plans to introduce bill that would expel GOP lawmakers who attempted to overturn the presidential election. Biden condemns right-wing rioters storming the U.S. Capitol. Fans are accusing Kylie Jenner of cashing in on the pandemic by releasing a new $7 hand sanitizer through her skincare brand. The next headlines are from the second most popular news website at this time, with 150 million unique monthly visitors, Google News. Skull session, Big Ten coaches talk Ohio State versus Alabama. Christina Johnson shows her support to the football 11 Warriors. Steam is getting expanded Xbox controller support, The Verge. Chuck Schumer finally breaks through, Politico. GOP West Virginia state delegate live streams as he storms Congress with pro-Trump mob, "We're going in," The Washington Post. Pence defies Trump, affirms Biden's win, Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Apple celebrates the year of the ox with limited AirPods Pro in Asia, The Verge. Biden's Electoral College victory certified, hours after Capitol chaos, Fox News. Charles Herbster, who may run for Nebraska governor, was at Trump rally before Capitol violence, Omaha World Herald. Alibaba and Tencent shares drop on U.S. investor blacklist report, Financial Times. Japan declares state of emergency in Tokyo area after days of hesitation, The New York Times. The following headlines are from the third most popular news website, with 110 million unique monthly visitors, The Huffington Post. Trump cast as a killer clown in Jim Carrey's new cartoon. 43 U.S. state and capital city names parents are giving their babies. 6 TV shows with way better coach than The Undoing. 10 ways therapists are practicing self-care this year. Skip the lubrication, Colbert tells Fox News where to stick its Trump excuses. Trump's greatest first term in history boast gets a scathing fact check on Twitter. Joy Reid shreds police double standards on pro-Trump insurrectionists and BLM. Trump acknowledges end of his presidency after Congress certifies Biden's win. Jimmy Kimmel calls out Trump's scumbag enablers by name in scathing monologue. Exclamation point, V. After day of chaos, Congress certifies Biden as the election winner. The next headlines are from the fourth most popular news website, with 95 million estimated unique monthly visitors, CNN. IL law will only lower insulin prices for some. Georgia Court of Appeals judge suspended with pay. Cork delays stimulus checks for some. Nurse recognized for service to long-time patient. Woman gets $76 stimulus payment instead of $600. Mystery illness in kids alarms TX pediatricians. University signs off on removing rock seen by some as symbol of racism. Police seek suspects in assault of store clerk. Sisters create fundraiser for dog with lymphoma. Mobile County Church rocked by COVID-19. The next headlines are from the fifth most popular news website at this time, with 70 million estimated unique monthly visitors, The New York Times. World leaders express horror at U.S. Capitol attack. Why legalized marijuana, finally, has a chance in New York. U.S. records its deadliest day, with a virus toll of nearly 4,000. An assault on the Capitol. After quick vaccine success, Israel faces new virus woes. What's it like to inspire a song? Child Welfare Agency cuts ties to professor over pedophile studies. I'm haunted by Daniel Pearl's murder. If you were on this app, you saw them all coming. With new majority, here's what Democrats can and cannot do on healthcare. The following headlines are from the sixth most popular news website, with an estimated 65 million monthly unique visitors, Fox News. Number 9 Tennessee pulls out 79-74 thriller over Arkansas. Hence, Pelosi share elbow bump following Biden certification vote. Mike Pompeo calls for Hong Kong pro-democracy advocates to be released. Ted Cruz condemns Capitol violence, calls for peaceful transfer of power. FBI seeking help from public to identify those in Capitol breach. Trump promises orderly transition after Congress certifies Biden win. 5 smart New Year's resolutions for homeowners. Leslie Marshall, Trump can claim a victory. He helped Dems Ossoff and Warnock win Georgia Senate races. Biden's Electoral College victory certified, hours after Capitol chaos. A president, a violent assault and a blow against a lawful election. You are hearing today's top news headlines and more. Today is Thursday, January 7th. The next headlines are from the 7th most popular news website, with 63 million estimated monthly unique visitors, CBS News. NFL wildcard playoffs NFC picks, Bears Saints could go right down to the wire, says Sportsline's Kenny White. Gabrielle Navi-Green and Lex Lumpkin on Nickelodeon's NFL wildcard game, this is geared specifically for kids and families. Stimulus check update, how much money will new parents receive? 63rd Annual Grammy Awards rescheduled due to COVID-19 pandemic. The next headlines are from the 8th most popular news website, with an estimated 53 million monthly unique visitors, Mail Online, the Daily Mail. NHS may have to start using beds in care homes if pressure continues to worsen. Ivanka and Jared are publicly shamed by sister-in-law Karlie Kloss. Father of one with $1 million budget spends 4 years on grand designs. Priti Patel backs police quizzing people sitting on park benches in lockdown. Elderly Britons are refusing Pfizer's vaccine because they'd rather wait for the English one. Pictured, Trump supporter and Air Force fifth shot and killed by cops while storming Capitol. London hit by snow for second day amid fears of beast from East II. Trump agrees to orderly transition as 4 die in U.S. Capitol riots. Alexa ghost but could let relatives speak to their dead loved ones. Prince Harry and Meghan Markle don't regret Megxit, a source tells People magazine. The following headlines are from the 9th most popular news website, with an estimated 47 million monthly unique visitors, The Washington Post. This is the Washington Post World News Feed. Indonesia's Merapi volcano spews hot clouds, 500 evacuate. Wong questioned, U.S. lawyer released in Hong Kong crackdown. Why the search for the real origin of the coronavirus is a global concern. U.S. allies react in horror to Capitol assault, hold Trump responsible. Japan declares state of emergency in Tokyo, paying price for coronavirus complacency. China is having a field day with U.S. Capitol chaos. A year on, questions what Iran's downing of Ukrainian plane. Total submission, with mass arrests, China neutralizes Hong Kong democracy movement. Trump's bitter fight and the fragility of U.S. democracy. The next headlines are from the 10th most popular news website, which has an estimated 42 million monthly unique visitors, The Guardian. This is The Guardian's U.S. news feed. Stock market rally fades after U.S. Capitol siege, Business Live. Trump promises orderly transition but continues election lies after Congress certifies Biden as U.S. president, Live. Coronavirus Live News, Japan's PM announces state of emergency for Tokyo, U.S. suffers record daily deaths. Insurrection at the Capitol, incited by the president first thing. Wentz to the Colts, Stafford at the 49ers, a look at the NFL quarterback carousel. Don't blame Trump for the chaos in Washington, D.C., blame his enablers. Lawrence Douglas. Trump advisor resigns and 2 other senior officials consider quitting. Twitter and Facebook lock Donald Trump's accounts after video address. Detransition, Baby by Tori Peters review, a comedy of manners. Congress certifies Joe Biden as president hours after storming of Capitol. The following headlines are from the 12th most popular news website, with an estimated 36 million monthly unique visitors, ABC News. COVID-19 vaccine contender CureVac links up with Bayer. Hong Kongers call U.S. violence a setback for democracy. Trump said protests would be wild, political leaders decry rhetoric as chaos erupts. ABC News exclusive, photo of suspected explosive device found near RNC headquarters. Former Defense Secretary Mattis says Trump fomented security breach at U.S. Capitol. Biden to Trump, demand an end to this siege. The next headlines are from the 13th most popular news website, with an estimated 35 million monthly unique visitors, the BBC News. Capitol riots, Congress certifies Joe Biden's victory after violent disruption. Trump blocked by Twitter and Facebook. U.S. Capitol riots, world leaders react to horrifying scenes in Washington. Hong Kong national security law, activists say arrests confirm worst fears. Game maker Roblox's value rocket sevenfold during pandemic. Central African Republic, a disputed election and a strange rebel alliance. Capitol riots, how a Trump rally turned deadly. Millionaire French hotel owner to testify in kidnap trial. How 6 brothers, and their lions, terrorized a Libyan town. New York is not dead, but it is on life support. The following headlines are from the 14th most popular news website, with an estimated 34 million monthly unique visitors, USA Today. DC updates. 4 dead, 52 arrested, 14 police officers injured after pro-Trump rioters breach U.S. Capitol. FBI opens investigation. How a Facebook post saved this New York man's life. She's more than an angel. What is sedition? U.S. Capitol breach was almost textbook example, legal expert says. The Jamal Khashoggi documentary Too Explosive to be streamed. AP photographer describes scene inside Capitol. Congress certifies Biden's Electoral College win. Coronavirus updates. California proposes $600 state stimulus checks. Mexico reports record surge in COVID-19 cases. U.S. deaths top 360K. Here's what it looks like inside the Capitol after pro-Trump rioters were removed. 4 deaths tied to riots at U.S. Capitol according to D.C. Police Chief. D.C. Police Chief, Capitol Police fatally shot woman. The next headlines are from the 15th most popular news website, with an estimated 35.5 million monthly unique visitors, the LA Times. The next few weeks are crucial for Newsom as he faces a GOP-led recall effort. Los Angeles Police Department seeks man suspected of killing his former girlfriend in Pacoima. Photos Trump supporters clash with police and counter protesters in LA. Column, it is not just Trump, blame California social media companies for DC riot too. California lawmakers describe harrowing day inside U.S. Capitol. California GOP legislative leader tweets, then deletes, false claim of Antifa leading U.S. Capitol mob. News analysis, Trump spoke of American carnage, then made it his reality. California hits 2.5 million coronavirus cases, adding 1 million inches less than a month. George Regas, progressive crusader and longtime rector of All Saints in Pasadena, dies at 90. Newsom cancels COVID-19 briefing amid outrage over mob violence at U.S. Capitol. We hope you are enjoying this news podcast. Today is Thursday, January 7th, 2021. You just heard from the top 15 most popular news websites in the world. More from other news sources is up next. Next, Reddit World News. Reddit is a user collective which claims over 430 million active users per month, and these are the top voted stories today. Angela Merkel, Trump shares blame for U.S. Capitol storming. Spain just recorded its coldest temperature ever, minus 34.1 C. The chaos unleashed on the U.S. Capitol by Donald Trump supporters dominated front pages across the world Thursday, with headlines such as Trump sets fire to Washington, democracy under siege, and the coup of madness. China goes online to mock beautiful side of U.S. What happened in the Hong Kong Legislative Council last year is being repeated in the U.S. India advocates for permanent UN Security Council seat for African continent. China warned its citizens in Washington to take safety precautions. Israeli soldier shoots and paralyzes Palestinian man in dispute over power generator. Small pro-Trump rallies break out in Canada amid chaos at U.S. Capitol. Earth is whipping around quicker than it has in a half-century. New Zealand Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern, democracy should never be undone by a mob. Bank lending to plastics industry faces scrutiny as pollution concerns mount. Western democracy stunned by images from Washington. NATO, European leaders voice concern about U.S. events. Turkey calls on all parties in U.S. to use common sense. Boris Johnson condemns disgraceful scenes in U.S. The next headlines are from Forbes. The cut price €16 little sneakers, now selling for €6,000 on eBay. 2020's biggest charitable donations, infographic. Kristaps Porzingis will bring needed boost to middling Dallas Mavericks. Trump incites mob, democracy fractured, world's newspapers dominated by coverage of Capitol Hill violence. There will be an orderly transition, Trump begrudgingly acknowledges Electoral College certification. New brand 2.0, Live Lateral. PXG releases new 0211 irons, woods and hybrids with unexpected price point. Congress certifies Biden's victory after pro-Trump rioters storm U.S. Capitol. Majority of House Republicans vote to reject Pennsylvania, Arizona electors. Automakers seek to integrate and localize battery production. The next headlines are from Nature.com. Single defect phonons imaged by electron microscopy. 11 tops photonic convolutional accelerator for optical neural networks. Genomic basis of geographical adaptation to soil nitrogen in rice. An integrated space-to-ground quantum communication network over 4,600 kilometers. Origins of structural and electronic transitions in disordered silicon. Core collapse supernova explosion theory. In vivo base editing rescues Hutchinson-Gilford progeria syndrome in mice. Structures of the glucocorticoid-bound adhesion receptor GPR97 sub complex. Poleward and weakened westerlies during Pliocene warmth. Design of biologically active binary protein 2D materials. The World Population Update. Currently, we are increasing by over 220,000 people a day, expecting to reach 8 billion in 2023. At the time this report was generated, the population was estimated to be 7,677,788,897 humans. Worldometers.info says there are 195 countries at this time and, of those, the top 10 with the largest populations are, in order, China, India, the United States, Indonesia, Pakistan, Brazil, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Russia, and then Mexico. The next headlines are from Variety. Japan declares second state of emergency in Tokyo. Netflix UK price hikes for existing subscribers come into effect this week. Disney Plus 2 launch in Singapore following deal with StarHub. Netflix opening studio facilities to expand Korean content supply. Musicians respond to Trump and Capitol mob. Halsey, Stevie Wonder, Cardi B, Selena Gomez, Pink, Tom Morello, Sarah Bareilles speak up. Congress confirms Joe Biden's victory after a day of chaos. Trump promises orderly transition. Governors, editorial boards and civic leaders call for President Trump's removal. The masked dancer reveals identity of the Ice Cube. Here's the star under the mask. The MAGA riot in Washington was the natural culmination of Donald Trump's influence, and, just maybe, its swan song. Twitter, Facebook locked Donald Trump's accounts for policy violations. The following headlines are from NPR, National Public Radio. Japan issues COVID-19 state of emergency for Tokyo as infections rise. Where is it safe to reopen schools? New research offers answers. Congress certifies Biden victory. Trump pledges orderly transition on January 20th. Storming the Capitol didn't change the election, some Trump backers realize. Some Republican senators begin to walk back objections to election results. Video shows newly elected lawmaker among mob that stormed the U.S. Capitol. Pelosi reconvenes the U.S. House. Our purpose will be accomplished. After chaos, insurrection and death, pro-Trump rioters defy D.C. curfew. McConnell says Senate will not be intimidated, will complete electoral vote count. Obama, a moment of great dishonor and shame for our nation, but not a surprise. The following headlines are from The Week. Actually, this is who we are. After certified electoral loss, Trump issues statement pledging an orderly transition on January 20th. Congress can certify Joe Biden's presidential victory. House nearly devolves into a brawl during the objection to Pennsylvania electors. Watch Wednesday's pro-Trump assault on the Capitol unfold in under 5 minutes. Pelosi's office damaged during riot. Trump has reportedly been ranting about Pence, who could still effectively fire him. Even Stephen Miller reportedly thinks today was bad. D.C. police. 4 people died during pro-Trump siege of the Capitol, including woman shot by police. House, Senate block challenges to Arizona's electoral votes. The following headlines are from the Texas Observer. Why didn't San Antonio police immediately apply first aid to Darrell Demwalt Sr. after shooting him? The following headlines are from the NASA Mars Exploration Program. 7 things to know about the NASA rover about to land on Mars. The next headlines are from Universe Today. Big news for SpaceX, static fire today, hop test this weekend. There should be a few supernovae in the Milky Way every century, but we've only seen 5 in the last 1,000 years. Why? Japan to launch wooden satellite in 2023. Here's the asteroid Hayabusa 2 is going to be visiting next. These are the news headlines for today, Thursday, January 7th. This podcast is produced only in English at this time. As of 2020, the Ethnologue reference lists 7,117 different human languages, with English being the 3rd most common, after Mandarin Chinese and Spanish. The following headlines are from earthsky.org. Ancient Mayan civilization used advanced water treatment technology. Star trails over a tree-lined path. See a faint star cluster near bright Sirius. Hostile space weather might not be all bad for exoplanet life. Biggest asteroid to pass Earth in 2021, also one of the fastest. Your photos of Venus, as it descends into the dawn. Say hello to Sirius, a future South Pole star. The next news is from Politico. Rioters halt Electoral College certification. Trump agrees to orderly transition of power. Chuck Schumer finally breaks through. Is this really happening? The siege of Congress, seen from the inside. This is what regime change feels like. Senator Brian Schatz deplores Capitol security failure. The day Trump broke the GOP. The racial contradictions of Trump's law and order mantra. A hell of a journey, Lindsey Graham says it's time to recognize Biden as the winner. Deputy National Security Advisor resigns after Wednesday's chaos. The next headlines are from the Sydney Morning Herald in Australia. Melbourne A-League derby moves forward in new COVID shuffle. Australia vs India Day 1 wrap, Pukowski, Labuschagne fire to leave home side on top. Not in our favor, Jinjin bushfire predicted to escalate in very fragile situation. Tips and race by race preview for Canterbury Twilights on Friday. U.S. Congress building under attack. Black summer bushfires made worse by climate change, risk to rapidly intensify. Excluding zombies from a cricket could bring on the apocalypse. Fans dive into a relationship with cricket's new golden boy. U.S. riots as it happened, Capitol building now secure as Trump supporters riot in Washington, 1 woman shot, killed. Extended Sydney ban prompts fears for tourism industry. The next headlines are from MarketWatch. The Moneyist, my wife found a half-brother through Ancestry.com. Are we morally or ethically obligated to share her father's estate? Brazilian president says his country is broke, here's why. The Margin, world leaders Boris Johnson, Justin Trudeau and Wall Street bosses condemn shocking and disgraceful scenes at U.S. Capitol. CDC officials say people with history of allergic reactions should be monitored after receiving a COVID-19 shot. Cannabis Watch, cannabis stocks stage strong rally as prospect of Democratic Senate spurs reform hopes. Coronavirus update, U.S. could see up to 150,000 more COVID-19 deaths by February as new strain takes hold, expert warns. Tax Guy, these COVID-19 tax relief measures just got extended. Tax Guy, new and improved PPP loans help small businesses hard hit by COVID-19, but there's a deadline to get the money. Europe markets, European stocks and U.S. futures extend rally on hopes over fiscal stimulus and vaccine. Auto Trader, the 2021 Jaguar XF is stylish, agile, and attractively priced. Next, the top stories about patents and inventions. Toller vs. Controller General of Patents, Design, and Trademarks, Intellectual Property, India, Mondak News alerts. How a crazed inventor escaped the hangman's noose, Herald Sun. Elida.net incorporates 11 million potential customers in Emirates after signing its agreement with Emirates Post, PR Newswire. Clarifying the patentability of cryptocurrency inventions for jurisdictions, Lixology. Connected and autonomous vehicles, protecting data and machine learning innovations, Lixology. 10 patent prosecution, litigation practice trends from 2020, Law 360. Greenberg Traurig expands Atlanta intellectual property and technology practice with addition of Nigam and Achariah, Yahoo Finance. USPTO proposes to close gap in terminal disclaimer practice, JD Supra. U.S. Navy patents pest magnet bait method, Pest Management Professional Magazine. SOFC's VI brings world's leading solid oxide fuel cells authorities to Stockholm in July 2021, Newswise. The next headlines are from Quartz. After a day of chaos, Congress confirms Joe Biden as U.S. President. After a rough ride in 2020, India's banking system faces a litmus test this year. Twitter and Facebook are taking baby steps toward banning Trump. Is America experiencing a coup? Big business is turning against Trump and his fellow insurrection enablers. Facebook's ex-security chief says social media networks should ban Trump. How the rest of the world is reacting to the chaos in Washington. How Biden can ramp up his climate ambitions now that Democrats have won the Senate. Can Mike Pence force Trump out of office? Police treated Black Lives Matter protesters and the violent pro-Trump mob very differently. The following headlines are from Tech Dirt. Appeals Court, just because someone used an email account to send threats doesn't make it an interstate crime. Content Moderation Case Study, dealing with controversial and sexual fan fiction, May 2007. Pennsylvania School District asks Supreme Court to allow it to continue to violate students' First Amendment rights. Could a digital divide unite us? Cass Sunstein's no good, horrible, very bad idea for using defamation to fight fake news. Daily Deal, the premium Learn to Code 2021 bundle. UK music rights group demands payment from a pub that isn't playing any music because it's closed due to COVID. Putting brained 5G conspiracies somehow get even dumber. Going dark is BS, says yet another report detailing all the ways law enforcement can obtain evidence. Surprise, Singapore backtracks on privacy pledge and opens contact tracing data to police. We are now about 1/3 of the way through this daily news headlines podcast, a free service. Here, next, are the top trending keywords in Google web searches for today, a different window on world events. Bradley Beal. PogChamp. Ben Sasse. Banana Republic. Who was shot at the Capitol? Barcelona. Nancy Pelosi. Juventus. Treason. Ilhan Omar. The next headlines are from RT, the first Russian news station in English. COVID-19 fallout could cripple up to 4,000 UK financial firms, British regulator warns. This is on you, Mr. President. Angry wrestling legend Mick Foley blasts son of a BTCH Trump and plea to WWE boss Vince McMahon. Disaster in the desert. Indian motorcycle ACS Santosh placed in a coma after huge crash at a car rally. Merkel saddened and angered by U.S. Capitol storming, blamed Trump's refusal to admit defeat. We've just seen confidence in democracy being shattered. UK Home Secretary condemns the terrible violence on Capitol Hill. Cryptocurrency market value hits record $1 trillion as Bitcoin reaches new eye-popping highs. Trump pledges orderly transition to Biden, vows to continue our fight against election outcome. The grim new normal. Japanese firm unveils new facial recognition system that can identify people through their masks. White House officials quit or consider resignation in wake of Capitol takeover by Trump supporters, media. Congress confirms Joe Biden as president-elect after Trump supporters stormed U.S. Capitol building. The next headlines are from Zero Hedge. It's over. Trump promises orderly transition on January 20th after Biden win certified. Norwegian nursing home patients dead after receiving first dose of Pfizer COVID vaccine. ASDA urges Britain's lockdown shoppers not to stockpile. World's top economies brace for $13 trillion debt maturity vortex. Senate rejects Ted Cruz's first objection to Electoral College certification. UK lockdown cops to stop people in the street, issue fines, target anti-lockdown, anti-vaccine protesters. Vatican claims no knowledge of $1.8 billion quietly transferred to Australia. We don't have that kind of money. Turks fear Russian advance on Syria's Al-Bab. This is the exact moment Ashley Babbitt was shot while storming the Capitol. 79% of Brits supported latest nationwide lockdown. The following headlines are from Al Jazeera, Middle East News. India to hold nationwide cow science exam. Indonesia, hundreds evacuated as Mount Merapi spews hot clouds. Top White House officials resign following Capitol Hill mayhem. At least 4 killed in post-election riots at Capitol Hill. U.S. threatens sanctions over Hong Kong arrests, angering Beijing. U.S. legislators vow to investigate police after breach of Capitol. Pakistan calls for Afghan action as soldier killed in border fire. Pope Francis warns of violence in car after disputed polls. U.S. Congress certifies Joe Biden as next president, Harris's VP. Plastic under scrutiny, bank lending to industry faces opposition. The next headlines are from Breitbart. Senate rejects objection to Pennsylvania electoral vote 7-92. Just effing shoot them all. Verified Twitter accounts call for retribution. Mother Jones David Corn declares President Trump a terrorist leader. Tom Cotton to Trump, accept election results, quit misleading the American people. Senate rejects objection to Arizona electoral vote 6-93. Woman shot during Capitol protest dies, 7 others reportedly hospitalized, 13 arrests. Ann Coulter, elections over, here's the truth about Trump. After Capitol violence, Kelly Loeffler changes course on Electoral College challenge. Quebec bans outdoor walking as part of COVID-19 curfew. Rap Cori Bush, had Capitol rioters been black they would have been shot, it's white supremacy. The next headlines are from UPI News. Nebraska woman wins second lottery jackpot in 5 months. Police find reported severed foot was mannequin part. Watch, Nova Scotia kite surfer finds message in a bottle with diamond ring. Look, mystery llama found wandering loose in Massachusetts. UAE chefs bake world's longest line of pies for Guinness record. Look, police respond to chickens wreaking havoc at New Jersey McDonald's. Watch, ostrich runs through Pakistani city after private zoo escape. The following headlines are from goodnewsnetwork.org. To protect the heart from breast cancer treatment, study finds statins could help. These African nations used satellite monitoring to cut deforestation by 18%. To keep pain in check, scientists say countdown. This city's police force says no officer fired a single shot in 2020, citing successful de-escalation training. Girl donates all her birthday money to homeless men who returned her grandma's wallet. You're tuned to No Views, daily automated podcast news. This is a report for Thursday, January 7th. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Reddit Offbeat News. Denmark launches children's TV show about men with giant penis. Phone addiction is one of the biggest non-drug addiction in human history. How to overcome phone addiction. Fishermen rescue naked fugitive from crocodile-infested waters in Australia. You can eat your Christmas tree. Here's how to do it. Angry chickens wreak havoc at McDonald's parking lot drive-thru in New Jersey. Meanwhile, in Canada, robbers flee in an Uber with a suitcase full of meat. Children's TV show about men with giant penis airs in Denmark. Escaped hamster braves freezing temperatures to get to candy store. Vietnamese doctor finds dozens of mushrooms growing in patient's ears. The next headlines are from a site called the Next Web. Android Auto 6.0 is coming, here's what to expect. Kiss me, Samsung, all remotes should be solar powered. Thermal cameras tracked hamburgers on bikes in 2020, here's what they found. Snapchat joins Twitter and Facebook in blocking Trump's account amidst Capitol violence. UK government to put trust in teachers not algorithms on exam results after last year's debacle. Here's why the universe has more matter than antimatter. After 4 years of waiting, Indians might finally get their taste of Tesla this year. This highly rated app blocks annoying spam and robocalls is on sale. Alas, thy Nintendo 3DS will no longer be thy Netflix main driver. 4 founders explain the biggest hurdles to flattening the climate curve in 2021. The following headlines are from Science Daily. Mouse study finds link between gut disease and brain injury in premature infants. Modern microbes provide window into ancient ocean. Resist the resistance, fighting the good fight against bacteria. Chickatoxin's not supposed to kill you. Wait for me, cell biologists decipher signal that ensures no chromosome is left behind. Physicists observe competition between magnetic orders. DNA editing method shows promise to treat mouse model of progeria. Designer protein patches boost cell signaling. How Earth's oddest mammal got to be so bizarre. New research finds ginger counters certain autoimmune diseases in mice. The next headlines are from Information Week. Government shows prioritize chatbots in pandemic. Making CI/CD work for DevOps teams. This is a reading of news headlines. This broadcast was created on Thursday, January 7th from over 100 sources to give you a bigger picture of the news. The next headlines are from the Salt Lake Tribune. We can fix this. Utah Jazz express optimism even as more lack of focus costs them a 112-100 loss o Knicks. The triple team, Jazz defense isn't good enough and collapsed to Knicks. Is this just who they are? Pro-Trump mob storms Capitol in bid to overturn election. Would-be developer of Bridal Veil Falls sues Utah County over conservation plan. Episode 9, Mary ruins a party she isn't even invited to on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Insurrection, Mitt Romney blamed Trump as a mob of his supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol. Tickets on sale Thursday for 2021 Sundance Film Festival, which only will be online in Utah. Letter, Republicans must not attempt to overthrow election. Hundreds of pro-Trump activists protested at the Utah Capitol as the president fights to stay in office. By Zach Wilson, one of 5 finalists up for the Polynesian College Football Player of the Year award. The next headlines are from Slashdot, Tech News for Nerds. More than half of Americans turn to video games during lockdown. Norway becomes first country to sell more electric cars than petrol vehicles. Liquid glass discovered its new state of matter. Would you quit if you had to return to the office after the pandemic? FBI probe of major hack includes project management software from JetBrains. Amazon pledges $2 billion to affordable housing. Twitter locks President Trump's account for 12 hours, warns of permanent suspension. Windows 10's taskbar is getting a big update with new weather and news widget. US bans WeChat Pay, Alipay and 6 more Chinese payment apps. Open source developer and manager David Gordon named White House Director of Technology. The next headlines are from Fox St. Louis. Mystery of strange odor in St. Charles County may have been solved. Prosecutor Wesley Bell and St. Anne police collaborate on body cam policy. Jefferson County Health Director discusses difficulties in managing COVID crisis. 4 died as Trump supporters stormed Capitol. Hero police officer in pool rescue surprised with gift. Man says San Diego woman killed in Capitol siege was his wife. Group of St. Louis area residents travel to participate in D.C. protest. Chaos, violence, mockery as pro-Trump mob occupies Congress. Missouri U.S. Senator Josh Hawley presses ahead on Electoral College objection, condemns Capitol violence. These are the current headlines from the world's most interesting news websites. Thank you for listening. The next headlines are from Fox San Diego. It's really tough. Unemployment claimants left waiting as state sorts out fraud cases. Photos show damage to historic Capitol building. Trump blocked from posting on Facebook for 24 hours. Local Trump demonstration contrasts chaos at U.S. Capitol. Obama calls violence at U.S. Capitol a moment of great dishonor and shame for our nation. Rep. Omar says she's drawing up new articles of impeachment against President Trump. Lamesu officer who shot woman with beanbag of protest won't face criminal charges. Twitter locks President Trump's account, deletes tweets about Capitol rioters. Supervisors will ask board to declare racism a public health crisis. The next headlines are from spooknews.com. What's next for the S&P 500 after $3 trillion of Federal Reserve asset growth? Nasir Ka, spy. Israel gives heroes welcome to American spy Jonathan Pollard SAMAA. Solar winds hack likely Russian, U.S. intelligence confirms. U.S. intelligence confirms solar winds hack likely Russian. FBI, CISA, NSA officially blame Russia for solar winds cyber attack. Suspected Chinese spies allowed to leave Afghanistan, report. NSA whistleblower Kirk Weeb exposes U.S. stolen election. Politi fact, the Nashville explosion was a suicide bombing, not a missile strike. Was Nashville bombing a missile attack on a spy hub? Donald Trump ally Patrick Byrneback's conspiracy theory. Afghan government criticized for release of Chinese spies. The following headlines are from Defense Blog. U.S. Army plans to digitize its Stryker Brigade combat teams. U.S. Marine Corps began fielding suppressors to infantry, special operations units. U.S. Navy awards contract to Wärtsilä Defense for submarine propeller systems. Raytheon gets $34 million contract for advanced electronic attack system. Ukrainian Marines to receive amphibious version of BTR-4. Safe Boat secures $19.9 million Pentagon contract for MKVI patrol boats for Ukraine. The next headlines are from SupChina, top news about China. Mass arrests in Hong Kong on subversion charges. Trump bans Chinese apps, including Alipay and WeChat Pay, with lame duck executive order. HEPA in wartime mode amid fresh cluster of coronavirus cases. Only when you, your children, and your grandchildren become Chinese, life after Xinjiang detainment. The new Fourth Army incident, the nationalist massacre that sealed the winning side's fate. This is the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today, in the GMT time zone, is Thursday, January 7th, 2021. Now, more headlines. The next headlines are from KRON4 San Francisco. Police search for men who attacked San Francisco woman, stole bulldog. Santa Clara County braces for post-holiday COVID-19 surge. It's over, Trump ally Lindsey Graham tells Senate Biden is the legitimate president. Contra Costa Republican chairman responds to Capitol chaos. How police responded differently to U.S. Capitol attack versus BLM protests. D.C. mayor extends public emergency for 15 days following violent protests. Multiple White House officials resign amid Capitol chaos. 5 East San Jose zip codes make up 30% of county's total COVID cases. Here's how they're banding together. The latest, Senate quickly rejects challenge to pay electors. The next headlines are from the Daily Herald. The latest, Trump promises orderly transition on January 20th. Trump promises orderly transition as Congress confirms Biden win after Capitol invasion. Trump vows orderly transition on January 20th after he empathizes with Capitol intruders. This is a coup attempt, what Republican and Democratic reps from Illinois said about Capitol attack. Pence defies Trump, declares Biden victory after saying he cannot reject electoral votes. Media capture unprecedented storming of U.S. Capitol. Pro-Trump mob storms U.S. Capitol in bid to overturn election. Fast start helps Bucks breeze past Pistons 130-115. Hill's late free throws lift Thunder over Pelicans 111-110. Pritchard's putback pushes Celtics past Heat 107-105. The following headlines are from Seattle PI. Trump supporters break through Washington governor's grounds as others storm U.S. Capitol. The next alerts are from the Global Disaster Alerting and Coordination System, a cooperative effort from disaster managers worldwide. Drought is ongoing in Armenia, Azerbaijan, Iran, Lebanon, Syria, Turkey. Drought is ongoing in China, India, Nepal, Pakistan. Drought is ongoing in Madagascar. Drought is ongoing in Algeria, Spain, Morocco. Drought is ongoing in Mexico, United States. Drought is ongoing in Peru. Drought is ongoing in Georgia, Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine. Drought is ongoing in Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Peru, Paraguay, Uruguay. Drought is ongoing in Argentina. Drought is ongoing in Argentina, Chile. You are hearing the No Views, daily automated podcast news. Today is Thursday, January 7th in the Greenwich Mean Time zone. Headlines here were found today in news feeds from around the world, but we do focus on the USA, one of the world's current 195 countries. Now, more news. The next headlines are from Cipher Brief Security News and High-Level Analysis. Special Report, Attack on Democracy. The next headlines are from ABC Houston. Zuckerberg extends Trump's Facebook, Instagram lockout indefinitely. President Trump says his term is ending, transition will be orderly. Doc Rivers speaks out on DC riot. Could you imagine today if those were all black people storming the Capitol? Buildings become piles of debris after severe storms rock Texas City. Woman fatally shot in U.S. Capitol was from San Diego. FBI looking to identify people who incited violence in Capitol riots. Houston Texans officially make New England's Nick Caserio their general manager. Congressman says he was prepared to use a baseball bat to protect staff. Explosive devices found near U.S. Capitol while violent rioters stormed Congress were real, law enforcement source says. Man killed in hit and run while walking on Fairmont Parkway in LaPorte. The following headlines are from China Post, top news about China, Taiwan and the world. Walgreens tops fiscal 1Q forecasts as it fights pandemic hit. Falcons interview Panthers offensive coordinator Joe Brady. Stunned EU leaders yearn for Biden presidency, ASAP. France seeks strategy change to reduce troops in West Africa. U.S. services sector grows for 7th consecutive month. The latest, Georgia State women postpone 2 more games. Identical twins aren't perfect clones, research shows. Diego Alonso out as coach of Inter Miami after 1 season. Pakistan arrests 7 Shiite militants, foils possible attacks. Lawyer, new Kansas lawmaker reaches deal to end court order. The following headlines are from The Gothamist. Coronavirus updates, Ingram new record, U.S. reports more than 3,800 deaths in single day. We were under siege, lawmakers demand investigation into colossal security failure at U.S. Capitol. Updates, Congress certifies Biden's electoral victory after day of riots incited by Trump. Growing concerns over city jails handling the pandemic's second wave. Coronavirus statistics, tracking the epidemic in New York. For 3rd year in a row, Cuomo announces plan to legalize recreational marijuana. Coronavirus updates, NY case of UK variant traced back to travel. New bill aimed to curb parasite food delivery apps in NY state. Video shows NYPD officer kneeling on man's neck during arrest in Queens. Early edition, National Guard deployed in D.C. for today's pro-Trump protests. The next headlines are from Observer.com. Facebook suspends Donald Trump indefinitely after president incited riots in Capitol. Sarah Jessica Parker and Matthew Broderick sell West Village townhouse for $15 million. Bridgerton cast theorize about what's to come in season 2. 10 totally free reverse phone lookup with name, no charge. The best workout jumpsuits to liven up your activewear wardrobe. 6 best acne treatment products for pimples, blackheads, whiteheads and scars. Shepard Fairey, Quaz, and more contribute to this film on behalf of young artists. Art fairs in 2021 will likely be local affairs instead of jet-setting ones. A new space race heats up as 3 Mars probes from NASA, China, and UAE arrive. Alex Garland is developing a new A24 film starring Jessie Buckley and Rory Kinnear. We hope you are enjoying this podcast. If you have a suggestion for a new RSS feed we should add, please leave it in a comment on our YouTube page. Next, info on a few earthquakes today from earthquaketoday.com. Minor earthquake, 3.4 mag was detected near Atka in Alaska. Light earthquake, 4.8 mag has occurred near Southeast Indian Ridge. Light earthquake, M4.6 quake has struck near the Fiji Islands. Minor earthquake, M3.2 quake has struck near Washington. Minor earthquake, M3.5 quake has struck near Adak in Alaska. Minor earthquake, 3.7 mag was detected near Alekhnik in Croatia. Minor earthquake, 3.7 mag was detected near Alaska. Minor earthquake, M3.09 quake has struck near Alum Rock in CA. Minor earthquake, M3.61 quake has struck near Boca de Yuma in Dominican Republic. Light earthquake, 4.2 mag was detected near Puerto San Jose in Guatemala. The next headlines are from globalissues.org. Shifting conversations in multifaceted policymaking. If COVID-19 is primarily a first world virus, why is the global south in lockdown? Is the COVID-19 vaccine a potential biological weapon in reverse? Is high-tech a danger to humanity? Making African Continental Free Trade Area work for women in a post-COVID-19 world. Anti-tough treatment clinical trial crucial for Africa. The next headlines are from blacklistednews.com. UK judge justifies Central Intelligence Agency spying on Assange citing debunked CNN report based on Central Intelligence Agency spying. Hive, US Capitol on lockdown, Senate and House in recess. Videos, Trump supporters breach security at Capitol building, clash with riot police. Pipe bomb found at RNC, DNC evacuated, report. 1 person shot after protesters storm Capitol, Trump urges stay peaceful. Trump urges protesters to go home now in video blasting stolen election. Denmark launches children's TV show about man with giant penis, aimed at 4-8-year-olds. Careless talk costs lives, fresh calls to silence pandemic skepticism. The following headlines are from Snopes, a fact-checking service. Lawmakers vow to investigate police after Capitol breach. Did Kamala Harris plagiarize Martin Luther King Jr.? Trump says his term is ending, transition will be orderly. Biden win confirmed after pro-Trump mob storms U.S. Capitol. Twitter, Facebook muzzle Trump amid Capitol violence. Experts, Capitol riot product of years of hateful rhetoric. Were requests to deploy National Guard initially denied during Capitol riots? Melania Trump chief of staff quits after riots. Did Trump say he loved Capitol rioters and now deleted video? Did Rudy Giuliani call for trial by combat before Trump mob broke into Capitol? The next headlines are from factcheck.org. Trump's falsehood fill Save America rally. We are now about 2/3 of the way through today's news headlines. When everything is working, this feed will auto-update 3 times per day. Join us daily to stay informed. The next headlines are from the Daily Beast. Facebook blocks Trump indefinitely for inciting violent insurrection. Even Trump's rogue international allies have now deserted him. The Orange Lives Matter coup won't end this Trumpist chaos. Joe Scarborough unleashes fury at Capitol cops. You opened the F-wording doors for them. Trump is waking up the next Tim McVeigh, prominent former neo-Nazi says. The Satan-worshipping serial killer and rapist who terrorized Los Angeles. Shocked by the riots, you were warned. The grim ritual sparked by LA's COVID overflow nightmare. In Tina Fey's MR, Mayor, Ted Danson plays a nicer Donald Trump, sort of. The GOP's replaying the conspiracy that predicted Rome's fall. The next headlines are from the New York Post. Meghan McCain calls for her fellow Republicans to invoke the 25th Amendment. Trump has become a Mad King. One of Palm Beach's priciest resorts is expanding thanks to pandemic. Lone Capitol cop caught on video trying to fend off pro-Trump mob. Jamal Adams will no question make NFL playoff debut despite injury. Celebrity stylist Tommy Bucket lists Bed Stuy townhouse for $2.20 m. The following headlines are from astronomy.com. Arecibo is dead. Should we build its replacement on the moon? You're tuned to the No Views, daily automated podcast news. If you are hearing this, you found something super unknown. Congratulations. Now back to the headlines. The next science headlines are from CBS News. Los Angeles EMS workers told not to transport patients with low survival rates. The following headlines are from AlienUFOsightings.com. 2020, 8 year of UFO news almost too strange to believe. The next headlines are from the New York Daily News. The words of a president matter. 1 killed, 13 arrests as Trump supporters storm the U.S. Capitol building in MAGA riot. Supermodel Karlie Kloss, I've tried to change in-laws Jared Kushner and Ivanka Trump's political views. Newly released video shows moments before and after Chicago police SUV hits woman, pinning her leg, during 2019 protests. Game company founded by 3 white women sorry for Americanizing mahjong tiles. D.C. mayor extends citywide public emergency until Biden's inauguration. Watch live, lawmakers vow to certify Biden's election tonight after terrible pro-Trump assault on the Capitol. Mexico reports new high for COVID infections in 1 day. Prominent Chicago priest suspended after 40-year-old abuse allegation reported. Cannabis stocks fly higher after Georgia election. Cuomo sending 1,000 members of the NY National Guard to D.C. The following headlines are from military.com. Former SecDefs call for Trump to speak out or step down. Iraq issues arrest warrant for Trump over Soleimani killing. Female soldier, 38, is third active duty service member to die of COVID-19. Kim Jong-un vows to bolster North Korea's military at party meeting. Woman fatally shot in U.S. Capitol was an Air Force veteran, family says. Former SecDef Jim Mattis denounces pro-Trump violent assault on U.S. Capitol. 1,100 guard troops deployed to D.C. amid U.S. Capitol siege by mob of protesters. Trump supporters storm U.S. Capitol, clash with police. The next headlines are from the Chicago Tribune. Coronavirus in Illinois updates. Here's what's happening Thursday with COVID-19 in the Chicago area. Man facing hate crime charges in fatal Wisconsin crash committed to psychiatric facility. 6-year-old boy dies in fire after he and 4 other children left alone in far south side home, police say. Chicago police, 1 killed in traffic crash in Gresham. Daywatch, a day of chaos after violent pro-Trump mob storms the U.S. Capitol. During Electoral College debate, U.S. Sens. Tammy Duckworth and Richard Durbin condemned Trump and violent mob that stormed U.S. Capitol. Days after she was sworn in, Illinois U.S. Rep. Mary Miller facing criticism for invoking Adolf Hitler during speech in Washington. The Spin, Pritzker says Trump should be impeached, removed from office. Kinzinger calls mob storming U.S. Capitol a coup attempt. Illinois Congresswoman facing backlash over invoking Hitler. Illinois will make coronavirus vaccine available to residents 65 and older in next phase of inoculations. Chicago sticking with federal guideline of 75. Governor J.B. Pritzker asks Congress to immediately impeach, remove Trump. The following headlines are from FIS.org. Image, The Sun in 2020. Research on Japanese island finds rising lizard temperatures may change predator-prey relationship with snakes. Israeli researchers discover new bee species. Why have so few Milky Way supernovae been observed over the last millennium? Where antibiotic resistance comes from. When galaxies collide, Hubble showcases 6 beautiful galaxy mergers. Researchers repurpose damaged polymer optical fibers to precisely measure magnetic fields. Sharing leftover meat may have contributed to early dog domestication. Selfish elements turn embryos into a battlefield. Hawaii drought during El Niño winter? Not always, according to new research. Thank you for listening and for staying informed. This audio was produced today, Thursday, January 7th, in the GMT time zone. The next headlines are from Discover magazine. Are face masks here to stay? How much alcohol is too much? Meet the animals that self-medicate. The next headlines are from the Seattle Times. Diggs, Beasley's status uncertain for Bills playoff opener. Boston Marathon bomber sues over ball cap, showers in prison. UN envoy arrives in aid in a week after deadly airport blast. Chattanooga fires football assistant after appalling tweet. Tennis pro Yastrzemska provisionally suspended for doping. Bills host XAFC East rival Colts for first time in playoffs. Messi finds playmaking partner in 18-year-old Pedri. Houston Texans hire Patriots exec Case Rio as general manager. The following headlines are from MercuryNews.com. The latest, Capitol Police Chief calls riot criminal. Elon Musk surpasses Jeff Bezos to become world's richest person. Facebook extends ban on Trump's use of Facebook account through inauguration, saying risk of his posts is too great. Tommy John hospitalized with COVID-19, his son says to stop acting like it's real. Jimmy Dean trades plant-based protein for pork sausage into new products. FBI asks public to help identify members of mob that stormed Capitol. I'm not near, Dr. Pitching greats Tommy John hospitalized with COVID-19 and receiving oxygen. Larry Magid, smart bed tracks health data. Bay Area gardening, when to prune salvias this winter. Bay Area members of Congress call for invoking of 25th Amendment after Trump supporters storm U.S. Capitol. The next headlines are from the Washington Times. Arizona reports nearly 300 COVID-19 deaths, nearly 10K cases. Facebook bans Trump through Biden inauguration, maybe longer. Murphy signs $14 billion business tax break bill into law. In first public comment, Capitol Police Chief says siege of U.S. Capitol by Trump mob was criminal re. Donald Trump to award Medal of Freedom to golfing legends in Loki ceremony. Thune, condemns thuggery and the violent Capitol rioters. 2 arrested in double homicide in Wichita. Split court tosses Pennsylvania victims' rights amendment. The next headlines are from The Intercept. Inside the insurrection. Trump unleashes mob to storm Capitol and disrupt functioning of U.S. government. As virus surges, new studies suggest warning for school reopening. NYPD cops accused of racism, sexism, and homophobia cost the city $500,000 over 4 years. While Republicans fractured, Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff teamed up, and it seems to have worked. This is No Views, daily automated podcast news. You are hearing headlines for Thursday, January 7th, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from Eureka Alert. Speech recognition changes after cochlear implant. Deep learning helps predicting occult peritoneal metastasis in stomach cancer. Assessment of duplicate evidence in systematic reviews of imaging findings of children with COVID-19. Want to diagnose brain diseases? A mass spectrometry imaging may one day help you. NHGRI proposes an action agenda for building a diverse genomics workforce. Oldest hominins of Oldaway Gorge persisted across changing environments. Peeking inside many brains could boost understanding of the human brain. Research shows rising lizard temperatures may change predator-prey relationship with snakes. Native biodiversity collapse in the eastern Mediterranean. The next headlines are from the Chicago Sun-Times. Who is next in line for the coronavirus vaccine? Live updates. 6-year-old boy dies in fire after being left home alone with siblings on far south side. Mick Mulvaney quits Trump administration after Capitol riot. Cairo Santos, first Bears kicker to win Special Teams Player of Month since 2010. Fatal, sexy, savage stalker women are seldom this dial. Congress validates Biden's presidential victory after pro-Trump mob storms U.S. Capitol. Dear Abby, Mom isn't teaching teen her native language, despite friends' pressure. Man dies after vehicle crash in Gresham, police. Woman carjacked in Wicker Park. The following headlines are from Riverfront Times St. Louis. St. Louis Carly Kloss on in-laws Jared Kushner, Ivanka Trump, I've tried. Cori Bush, expel Republican congressman who incited Capitol terror. COVID-19 trapped Big Mike in paradise, he's still there. Erase My Back Pain Reviews 2021, what's new? Free psychic readings online via phone call, chat and live video by legitimate love psychic reader experts. Best Male Enhancement Pills 2021 Sexual Health Supplements. The next headlines are from Detroit Metro. U.S. Rep. Rashida Tlaib calls for Trump's immediate impeachment for inciting violence at the Capitol, and she's not alone. Michigan Capitol building temporarily closed amid threat. Here's a video of Mitt Romney casually getting heckled by Trump supporters. Black Homes Matter advocates to call on Whitmer to compensate overtaxed Detroit homeowners. Jeff Daniels to MC virtual Ann Arbor Folk Fest later this month. Detroit-based beauty giant The Lip Bar rebrands as TLB as it expands catalog and reach. Downtown Farmington's John Cowley and Sons Irish pub fined for violating pandemic orders. Family videoed to close all remaining stores, cites lack of foot traffic and new movie releases. Heated luminaries will bring wintertime out-the-door dining to Southwest Detroit restaurants. Savage Love, European Adventures. You are hearing today's news headlines. These headlines are for Thursday, January 7th, 2021. Now more. The next headlines are from the Houston Press. Justin Richmond on the particular brilliance of EW and F's Keep Your Head to the Sky. Upcoming Houston food events, Torchy's Tacos Get Fancy Schmancy and Nick Fine teaches kids to cook. Bitcoin ATMs are a mixed bag in Houston. Best virtual bets, Big Bens, vaccines, and drowning girls. 4 thoughts on the Houston Texans hiring Nick Caserio as their next GM. Trump supporters storm U.S. Capitol, halt Electoral College vote count in terrifying scene. JJ what to Deshaun Watson, I'm sorry, we wasted one of your years. What is a cool parent? 6 Houston sports stories we can look forward to in 2021. Market Square Park glows with newest public art installation. The next headlines are about world records making news. Amy, Lunchbox, and Scuba Steve try to beat world record for eating nuggets. The Bobby Bones Show, iHeartRadio. Billie Eilish, which Guinness World Records has Billie Eilish broken? Express. Gigantic spam Musubi created in Clarksville breaks world record, benefits hungry, Main Street Clarksville. Watch, Fortnite creator breaks world record of fastest edits, essentially sports. Bubble Master, man blows 700 small bubbles inside a big one, sets world record, India Times. Chefs break Guinness World Record for longest line of pies, WLNS. 14-year-old Warzone player beats duos kill world record with his father, CharlieIntel.com. U.S. suffers record daily coronavirus deaths, The Guardian. These Diablo 3 speedrunners beat 2 world records with one outrageous run, PC Gamer. Uchine, 9-year-old Sanvi creates world record, Free Press Journal. The next headlines are from Gizmodo. Too much meat during Ice Age winters gave rise to dogs, new research suggests. Facebook blocks Trump indefinitely. Thursday's best deals, MacBook Pro M1, meat pajamas, My Partner Pikachu, meal prep kit, tweezer set, Razer laptops, J-Buds wireless earbuds, and more. Nvidia's acquisition of ARM has a long way to go. The real culprits fearing students into doing Big Oil's dirty work. Apple's powerful new M1-driven MacBook Pro is $60 off. Updates from Halloween Kills, Riverdale, and more. Xbox controllers apparently still use AA batteries due to an ongoing deal with Duracell. Star Trek, Discovery earned its sound and fury this time. This Lenovo all-in-one PC has a rotating display, and it looks badass. What place in the world had the hottest and coolest temperatures today? According to ElDoradoWeather.com, the hottest place on Earth in the past 24 hours was Diourbel in Senegal at 104.36 degrees Fahrenheit or 40.2 degrees Celsius. The coldest recorded weather temperature on Earth in the past 24 hours was Batumaj in Russia at minus 60.34 degrees Fahrenheit or minus 51.3 degrees Celsius. The following headlines are from Ars Technica. Facebook, Instagram banned Trump through at least Inauguration Day. Twitter removes PogChamp emote it says was the face of further violence. Trump deletes tweets after being banned from Twitter updated. Department of Justice says SolarWinds hackers breached its Office 365 system and read email. Why don't PCs use error correcting RAM? Because Intel, says Linus. Pro-Trump reporter gloats over access to fleeing Hill staffer's computer. Frontier agrees to fiber network expansion and plan to exit bankruptcy. WhatsApp gives users an ultimatum, share data with Facebook or stop using the app. Ars readers gave a record $58,000 in 2020 charity drive. Amazon promises $2 billion for affordable housing projects near its corporate offices. The following headlines are from Raw Story. Facebook extends Trump's ban indefinitely and says he's a risk to incite violent insurrection. William Barr blasts Trump's betrayal of office, but some say he's also to blame. GOP loyalty to Trump cracks as his former allies lament he screwed the country. Trump supporter says MAGA crowd turned violent after learning Mike Pence wouldn't overturn the election. GOP congressman publicly calls on Trump's cabinet to invoke the 25th Amendment. Capitol invasion was a desperate stand for the white privilege slipping away from Trump supporters, columnist. Fox News host Pete Hegseth defends symbolic D.C. riot, they just wanted to sit in Nancy Pelosi's chair. Sniveling suck-up Marco Rubio faces furious backlash for spineless tweet about pro-Trump Capitol violence. Flight attendants seek to ban pro-Trump rioters who attacked Capitol from boarding flights leaving D.C., report. MSNBC's rule explodes on Republicans for claiming storming of U.S. Capitol was a left-wing plot. The next headlines are from Mother Jones. Mick Mulvaney is a rat jumping ship. Coronavirus growth in Western countries, January 6th update. Lit blog, Congress affirms Biden's victory. After a day of violence on Capitol Hill, Congress certifies Biden's win. A majority of House Republicans just sided with a mob. Slow it down, Giuliani asked GOP senator to object to electoral votes from 10 states. Among the thugs, stunning photographs of the Capitol under siege. Tucker, it's not your fault, it's their fault. Trump incited violence, Democrats want him out of office, now. Trump supporters spread chaos to state capitals. The following items are today's top search results for the term neuroplasticity. Neuromorphic Computing Market Outlook and Opportunities in Grooming Regions, edition 2021 to 2026 leading players, IBM, Samsung Electronics, Intel Corporation, HRL Laboratories, The Courier. What are the performance limits of our brain? Uric Alert. Neuroscience Market Growth and Restraint Factors Analysis 2018 to 2028, Neighbor Web SJ. Adderall Alternatives, Best Natural Over-the-Counter Nootropic Options, Austin Chronicle. Innovation Discovery Grants awarded to Mass General Brigham. Scientific advancements designed to help patients, Healthcare Delivery, Globe Newswire. Glucocorticoids and the brain after critical illness, DocWire News. We are nearing the end of this broadcast. This report is for Thursday, January 7th, 2021 in the GMT time zone. What cities are in that time zone? Well, Reykjavik, Iceland, for one. You might wonder if our server is in Reykjavik. It could be. The following is from the UFO Chronicles. Radar and UAPs, a new resource. UFOs, what happens when a government cover-up turns out to be true? That's it for now. Thanks for enjoying today's newsfeed headlines. This, indeed, has been a No Views, daily automated podcast newscast for Thursday, January 7th, 2021. Bookmark us and tune in each day to our free automated podcast to find out what's going on, around, and, sometimes, light years, beyond the Earth. True Strange News Fair Use Statement. No Views News is a US-based educational not-for-profit news site. We use only parts of content, in transformative ways and without market usurpation. This means you are still going to want to read the original if you are interested in it beyond the headline and any comments we make. We provide links to original sources wherever possible. If you have any copyright concern, please contact us via our About page for immediate remedy. Contact us, Zeno at XENOMAILS 2020 by No Views News. All rights reserved.